Hey everybody! I hope my volume's on. Let me check that, sorry. I think it is. I hope y'all can hear me. How are y'all today? Don't you love my consistency and time? Alright, so today we're talking more about connecting. It's what we've been focused on the whole time. It is this book I'm reading about everyone communicates and few connect. Again, based on having an audience, based on if you have information to share, whatever, fill in the blank, but you have to connect with people. You can't just talk to them. And it also works, two-way, learning how to listen better, just connect with people better, because again, we're in the relationship building business, right? So hopefully you're realizing the common ground here is that we have to remember that all of this is about somebody else, right? Like you have to put yourself last and put somebody else first. Because you cannot. So today we're going to talk about finding the common ground so that you can connect. And you cannot connect with somebody if you can't reach common ground. And obviously you can't reach common ground if you're focused on yourself and not the other person and trying to understand. So again, remember, we're going to focus on another person. So everybody, all of us, like we could all be in the same situation and we're going to process the information different, right? So we all have a different framework for how we process information, like what senses are more important to us, whether we see things or hear things, or feel things, whatever that is. We all process that information differently. So you have to keep that in mind as well, and maybe try to understand how somebody else is viewing it. How does somebody else experience the same experience that you have? And that is, kind of the first step into connecting with them and getting to understand better. So this is a skill too. We talked about that yesterday. That things are a skill and you choose to do them and you continue to do them and you cultivate it and you grow it because you have to just continue learning how to do those things. But there are like some key things that, I just want to bring up awareness wise because, when you hear them out loud, you write them down, whatever, they just seem kind of like common sense, but we just kind of drop the ball sometimes. So, available. Choose to spend time with other people so that you can get to know them better. Listen. You have to pay attention. Most of us have like a me first attitude and we don't listen as well because we're thinking about how it affects us or why we care. I don't know. So make sure you're listening to the person and, you have to kind of forget about your favorite thing for a while, which is you, and just actually listen to the person. So if you're trying to share a message and you would like people to listen to you, you have to keep that in mind too, right? Not all the people that are going to be in your audience are learning and studying personal development. So how are you going to reach them? So we talked about this yesterday, talking about speaking, but you want to make sure you can answer two questions that they are probably not going to ask, but that are lingering in their head. Why should I listen to you, and what's in it for me? Just keep those two things in mind, no matter whether you're talking to an audience, a prospect, a group, in a one-on-one. Know that a lot of times those thoughts are running through people's heads and you want to address those questions. Ask questions. Be interested enough to ask questions about people so that you can connect with them better. And I saw, what do you call it? I don't even know what you call it. Anyway, the word form, F-O-R-M. Family, occupation, recreation, message. Somebody's going to comment and tell me what word I should have used right there. Sorry, y'all. I'm still drinking coffee. Thoughtfulness. Think of others first and find ways to thank them. Go with a sense of gratitude. Openness. You have to share you too. And that right there, that's where I'm at. You have to share things about you so that even they are aware of the common things. I might know what I have in common with somebody, but do they even know that we share that? And again, so that's part of what I'm working on. Likability. You want to care about people because people like other people who like them. Again, we're kind of self-driven a lot of times, so you want to be aware of that and just remember that people like people who like them. Humility. So think of yourself less than others more. Seems like a common thing. You know, I mean, there's just that common thread through all of this. So I did like the way it was explained definition-wise. So humility is knowing and using your strength for the benefit of others on behalf of a higher purpose, which requires two things. Self-criticism. So are you honest with yourself and know your faults and know what you could do better? So self-criticism and the ability to affirm, empower, and just uplift and enable others. So you have to be able to do those things to show up with humility. And your failures, you know, we talked yesterday about success and how people connect with success, and success loves success, right? But your failures will be able to impact people probably even more so than your successes, especially if you're trying to find people to reach and to connect with on those common grounds of humility, things like that. So then you want to be able to admit your weakness, be patient with other people's weaknesses, right? Be open to correction. You know, don't just be aware of it, but be able to overcome even your own weakness. And be able to shine the spotlight back on somebody else, you know, and that just goes back to, you know, not focusing on yourself. Focus on the strengths of others too, and let them know, and be gratitude, you know, be full of gratitude and thank them. So adaptability, you want to be able to almost like step out of your zone and into somebody else's. Like, what does that mean? Where are they at? And if you put them first and you choose to go first, like, where are they? You have to make that decision. So I want you to hear these questions and hear the difference, because you want to think about their point of view. So do I feel what you feel versus do you feel what I feel? Do I see what you see versus do you see what I see? Do I know what you know versus do you know what I know? Do I know what you want versus do you know what I want? So you can see how that really just shifts onto the other person, and you're putting them first. And there's a huge difference between knowing and understanding something. Like, you can know a lot of stuff, you can have a lot of knowledge, but that doesn't mean that you understand it or understand how to apply it. So keep that in mind for yourself, keep that in mind for your audience, and just continue learning and growing and connecting. I did think it was interesting, one of the last parts of the book. So I have a blog article about a method of connecting with other people called Feel, Felt, Found. And he touches on that. So I don't know if that's even where it originated from, if it's even before his time. I don't know. But I just thought it was really interesting. And after this uploads, I will probably post a link to that blog, because it was a big one for me and how to understand that. So if you check out that blog, it kind of elaborates on those three things. He explains it a little bit different, and then he adds a fourth one though. So feel is a sense of what they feel and acknowledge and validate their feelings. Felt, you know, share when you felt the same way. Like, that is truly connecting with somebody, right? And then found, share what you found that helped you because you want to help them overcome. And then find was one I hadn't used before. And find says offer to help them find help. You know, so maybe you have some kind of solution or opportunity and it's not a fit. That's going to happen. But you can offer to still help them. You can still put them first. You know, we're not business first, we're people first. So you still put them first and you can help them. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that helped you. If you have any questions, if you watch this later, make sure you post below and I will get them, and I will talk to y'all later.